Okay. Hi everybody, it's Mr. Oakes. May the 4th be with you. It is Star Wars Day. That has nothing to do with our lesson, but you guys know I'm a Star Wars nerd, so there it is. Today starts today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we'll be talking about volume, and I figured I'd start off first with a review of some basic volume problems, namely volume of a rectangular prism and also volume of a cube, because that will pop up and sometimes one can be a little tricky. Volume is very simple. It is basically how much stuff can go into a shape. So you can think of it as if you have a box that you just got from the mail, well, how much room is inside the box? If I was to pour a liquid in there, how much would I need to fill up that space? And that's all volume is. So volume is always a three-dimensional figure. So it's always something that's a box, or you could think of like a can of soup. All right, those are three-dimensional, and the amount of stuff that's in those things is the volume. So I have a couple of volume problems back here, and we're going to talk about them. So, first thing I have here, what is the volume of the rectangular prism below? Now, the volume formula for rectangular prisms is very simple. It is simply, I'm going to write it over here, volume equals the length times the width times the height. So those are three dimensions, length, width, and height. We have a three-dimensional figure. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm simply going to take the numbers that I'm given and I'm going to plug it into the formula and I'm going to do the multiplication and I'm going to get the answer. So when I look, I see that I'm going to call this length is 10 meters. And the meters is actually going to become important very shortly. 10 meters, the height is 5 meters, and the width is 7 meters. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my variables. So V is volume, L is length, W is width, H is height. That makes sense. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to leave V because that's what I'm trying to find. I don't know what the volume is. Okay? But I do know that the length is 10 meters. The width is 7 meters. And the height is 5 meters. Keep moving on this. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply those three things together. Volume equals, now I can do this in my head because I'm a math guy, but all I got to do is throw these in a calculator and I'll simply get my answer. 10 times 7 times 5. Well, I know 7 times 5 is 35, and then 10 times anything, I basically just throw a 0 on the end. So this is going to be 350. Now comes where I have to label this. It gave me meters. Well, every time we do volume, whatever the unit is, meters, inches, feet, centimeters, miles, kilometers, all that stuff, we're going to do them make them cubic. Basically what we're going to do is, since there's three of the same thing multiplying itself, we're cubing it. We're going to put an exponent of 3 on it. So, meters cubed. So meters cubed or cubic meters. So basically, if I wanted to, I could fit 350 cubic meters of something. Dirt, goldfish crackers. I could fill this up with all that stuff, and it would take 350 cubic meters. That's a lot to do that. Okay? So that's a very simple one because we're given a picture, we're given all the different dimensions that we need. We're given the length, we're given the height, we're given the width. No problem, I just plug those in the calculator. But here, now, it's a word problem. I don't have a picture. I don't have a picture to base off of. So, one of the things I would suggest is, you could draw a picture. I'm not gonna. Because these problems are very simple because I can just plug into the formula and solve it from there. So, a rectangular prism has a height of 3 feet, a width of 4 feet, and a volume, they're giving us the volume, of 96 cubic feet. What is the height of the prism? So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write down the formula. I've got so much dead space. There we go, that's more centered. Alright, I'm going to write down the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay? And then I'm going to write down the information they gave me. They gave me the height. The height is 3 feet. The width is 4 feet. They didn't give us the length, so I'm going to put length equals, I don't know. And the volume is 96 feet cubed, 96 cubic feet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in what we know to the formula. Well, I know the volume, they told me it's 96. I'm going to write that in here, 96. They also didn't tell us the length. So I'm just going to leave it as an L, all right? They gave us the width. The width is 4, and the height is 3. So, anything happening on the left-hand side with the 96? Nothing right now. So I'll write 96. On the right-hand side, I can multiply 4 times 3. 4 times 3? 12. So I get 12 times L. Now it's a one-step equation. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is, since 12 is multiplying the L, we're going to divide. So we're going to divide by 12, because that's what's multiplying the variable. Divide by 12 on both sides. Boop, 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 boop. Put it in the calculator. And I'm left with 8. Now, since this is one of the 3 dimensions that we would multiply together, as you see, 3 feet, 4 feet, well, then this has to be 8 feet. And that's what you do. Now, what we're going to quickly do now is talk about, and hopefully this won't fall over. I have it propped up on my fireplace. Okay, oop, there we go. Alright, cube. Cube is a rectangular prism, but it's kind of got this special thing about it because a cube is just a bunch of squares, okay? Alright, I didn't make the fancy 3-dimensional drawing with it in the side, but if you think about it, we got a front, a back, 2 sides, a top, and a bottom. So it's 6 sides. It's all 6 sides are squares. And if you remember, a square, the sides are all the same. Same with a cube. So there's 2 ways we can do a cube. Okay? So the volume of the cube below, first off, volume of any rectangular prism, length times width times height. In the case of a cube, well, all those things are the same. So I could just talk about what's called the side. So when we find the volume of a cube, we can actually say the volume is the side cube. Makes sense. It's a cube, we're going to cube the numbers. Well, the only information we have here is that a side is 4 inches. So we're going to plug that in. Volume equals, that should fall, 4 inches to the third power. So again, what we really could do, we could go here, 4 times 4 times 4, because that's what cube means. It means that the number we have is a factor 3 times. So when we do that, 4 times 4 times 4, well, 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 4 is 64. And again, these inches are being cubed as well, so we're going to just write that 3 right up there. So the volume of this cube, 64 inches cubed. The last thing we're going to do is here. We're going to do another word problem where something's missing. The volume of a cube is 216 centimeters cubed. What is the length of a side? We need to know the side. So again, I'm going to start off with this volume equals s cubed. And I'm going to put in what I know. Well, the only thing I know is 216, and that's the volume. So, volume equals 216 centimeters cubed. Side equals, I don't know. So we're going to plug it in. So, volume is now 216. We don't know what s cubed is. Here's the thing. We don't come across a lot of these on tests and stuff, but what you're going to do is you're going to do the cube root. Basically, you're just going to ask yourself, what number times itself gives you 216? Now, on a calculator, what you're usually going to do, and I'm going to grab my calculator over here to show you. Okay, so here's my calculator. The light's a little bright, so, alright. And usually, right here, right above that, you see it's X and then the radical symbol. What you're going to do, and usually you have to play with this depending on the type of calculator you have, is when you do that, you put in the index, which is what's the root you're looking for. The index first, and then hit second, and then do that key, and then put the number in. It's a little complicated. That's why it doesn't usually get used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my radical, and I put a little 3 to let me know it's a, oh, you can barely see that in orange. Yeesh. Let's do this. Put a little 3 there. That's telling me that I'm taking the cube root. And if I do it on this side, as I've said to you, if you do it on one side, you got to do it on the other. So we're going to do it here, and again, I'm going to write that there. So now I got to go, well, what number times itself gives me 216? I go and I plug in the calculator. You could also do trial and error. Maybe you 2 times 2 times 2. No, that's 8. 3 times 3 times 3. No, that's 27. And you keep doing that, and eventually you'll get to S is 6 centimeters. 6 times 6 times 6 gives you 216. And that's how you find volume. Hope everybody has a good day. See you tomorrow.